All right. Let's look at a few of the examples, and I'm going to write them out on the board and take a few minutes, work on them, and then I'm going to have you guys come up here and diagram some of these out. All right. Christopher, would you be our guinea pig for number one?
I think I got that one.
All right. Come up and show us how to diagram this one.
Okay. All right. You want me to do the morphemes and everything?
If you want to. Actually, just no. Just do the circling and underlining and parenthesizing.
Okay. So I think it would just be nominative and accusative, right?
Well, that first word. What is that first word? What part?
This is our. Oh, this is our verb.
Yeah.
This is our verb, not a noun. Sorry.
Yeah. So you circle it.
Okay.
All right. So that's it.
Circle this. So
we have our verb, and what case was that? You said Taylor Lathion was in.
this is accusative.
Right. So that's our direct object.
This is accusative, direct object. What did I say? We have heard the truth.
We have heard the truth. Are we in agreement?
Absolutely.
All right, cool. Thank you, sir. All right, Jeff, you want to do the second one?
It's great to give it to him.
Okay, so that's our verb. Hati is our conjunction. The os is the nominative case. All right. I only see one problem. Chris, do you know what he might have done?
Are both of those nominative?
Yeah, that's it.
Both
They're both
sounds nominative.
Yeah. That's it. Good. Thank you. All right. So, what was your translation for number 2?
This was the new word in third person, first person plural.
Yeah.
So we have known that
Sure.
God is love.
Yeah.
That God is love.
Sure. That's it. Good job. Thanks. So we have known that God is love, right? And remember, why are both of these in the nominative case? Do you remember? It's because of Amy. Remember, we've talked about Amy is a verb of what? A verb
It's like
of,
an equal sign, right?
right. It's an equal sign. It's like a verb of being rather than action. So just think equal sign, nominative. Okay.
That's right.
So it takes complements the nominative rather than objects in the accusative. Good. All right. So now I'm going to get you guys to help me diagram number 3.
Yes.
All right. All right. Good job, there. Pepisteuchomai. What do we do with this word? Circle it. All right. Hati. What do we do with that? Parentheses. It's our conjunction. All right. What about Sue? What case is that in?
Nominative.
Yeah, nominative. What would it look like in the accusative? Do you remember?
So,
Yeah.
C. As sigma.
It's se. Se. This is kind of how I remember that. This may not be helpful, but I'm just going to throw it out there anyways. I see the su, and I'm thinking you, but I see the se. It still means you, obviously, but it's the object. But what is, when we did the first person, what was the first person nominative? First person nominative of the personal pronoun? Ego. So that was the first person, right? What was the accusative? Me. So I kind of think of them as they both ended up son. And I even think of this looks like me as in English, And we use me accusatively in English. You know,
Sure.
I go to the store and they gave me a book, right? So I think of it that way, and so that helps me remember that that's the accusative form, and Sue would be the nominative. That's just kind of a long explanation, but it helps me get it right.
And that's the key, is like if we can remember that it falls,
Yeah.
it makes things a
Yeah.
little.
A, what do we do with A? Circle it, it's a verb, right? Hagios. Hagios, what do we do with that?
Nominative. Underline more times.
Okay. And tutheu is in what case?
Genitive.
Genitive. So we put that in parentheses because we want to worry about that later. So now we have, remember, hati is a conjunction, so it combines two clauses. So this is clause 1, and this is clause 2. So if we want to translate clause 1, it's just one word. But how many words does it take us to translate it? 3, right? How do we translate pepisteu come in?
We have believed.
We have believed, right? So we got reduplication, lexical morpheme, believe, perfective aspect morpheme, ka, and the person number suffix we, right? So we have believed. Hati, let's skip that for right now. Let's just do our second clause.
Okay.
Our second clause, su, means
You
singular, right? You
are
are
the
the
holy.
the holy. Remember, this is an adjective. So adjectives, this is acting substantively. It's acting as the noun, right?
Right.
So you could say the holy
Ones.
one,
One.
or the holy, and actually
Or
because
because
it's
Singular.
for the
Holy
purposes of
thing.
just like learning
People.
genders. What gender is this?
Masculine.
Masculine. You could say the holy man. You could, but I think when we're thinking scripture in our head, we're like going instantly to the holy one, right?
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we can do that. That's fine. So you could say you are the holy one. Okay. Let's do that. So we have
Holy One.
we have believed. You are the holy one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we have believed
That.
that you are the holy one to the
Of. Is it genitive? Of God.
of God.
Of God.
Right? That's the genitive case. So when you think genitive, think what word?
Of.
Of. When you hear dative, what word?
To.
All right, good. We have believed that you are the Holy One of God. Right.
That's what threw me off. It's like when I know we said that if it's masculine, use like you can substitute or put it in there. But man, it's singular.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if we would put the one was what.
Yeah, and the one actually is always like almost a safer translation, because you can almost ignore the fact that there's gender there and go, the Holy One. Yeah.
It's like I can't put the holy thing. Right?
Yeah.
The Holy
Well, you
King
could
of
if that
God.
was neuter.
Right.
That would make sense, but it's masculine, yeah. I'm going to write out number 4 real quick, and then I'm going to get you guys to help me diagram, kind of on the fly. The lukate ton dulan kai pepam bate altan ace tain ek lesion. All right. So let's help me diagram this real quick. La lucate. What do I do with that?
Circle.
Circle. Tondulan is in what case?
Accusative.
Accusative. So what do I do with that?
Double.
2. Kai is what part of speech?
Conjunction.
Conjunction. So we're going to put that in
Parentheses.
parentheses. A pamphate is a verb, so we're going to circle that. Alton is in what case?
It's accusative.
Yeah, accusative. And ace begins what?
A
Prepositional phrase. Ace takes the accusative case, so that's accusative, and that's accusative, right? But ends, there's a...
Okay.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. So now we've diagrammed our sentence, or our clause, rather. And now we can see, remember, Kai has a conjunction. We have 2 clauses here. the first clause simply says leluka te tanulon. Te means what? Use guys, right? And this tell us it's in what tense?
Perfect.
Perfect tense. So you have loosed the servant, right? Singular. Let's go ahead and pick up the kai. And. All right, so this one's a little bit different. This is from, I'm going to look at your vocabulary here for a second. So we still have, the subject is still the same.
Yeah. Second
Right.
person.
You, can you see reduplication right here?
Yeah.
So we can go ahead and throw in a have. You have what?
Suffered.
Not suffered. Look for the move.
Sent.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you have sent Alton.
Them.
Not them,
Him.
him. Right? Can you see this?
Yeah,
That's singular.
Singular.
Right? So, and you have sent him, referring to
The servant.
the servant, right?
Servant.
Eistain ecclesian. Into the church.
Church.
Okay? So you have loosed the servant and have sent him into the church. All right? Let's do one more, but this time instead of me writing it out, I'm going to sight read it with you guys, and I'm going to kind of show you kind of what I do in my head, and I'm going to try to explain it kind of slowly for you. Obviously, what I'm doing in my head, I still put it on paper. I will still do all this. If you're not doing this, by the way, you might be doing yourself a big disservice. So just keep circling, keep underlining, keep parenthesizing, because it really helps just kind of separate out what's essential, what's not essential, so you can kind of get to your core clause, core sentence, and then pick up all the leftovers. So keep doing that. Let's look at number 5 real quick. This one's got a few prepositions in there that we've been looking at from chapter 8, which I think is good to review those. So our first word here, gegraphamen. Gegraphamen. So I'm looking at that, and the first thing my eye goes to is the end of the word. And I see a men. And I know men is a person number suffix. Person number suffixes go with what kind of words? Verbs. So I know I got a verb there, so then I circle that one. So, and I'm already looking at that one, and I can see graph from grapho. Grapho means what? I write. So gegraphamen means we have written. Yeah, we have written. Logus, I'm looking at the end of the word. Us, I can see is what case ending?
Plural accusative.
Yeah, accusative plural. Okay, so I know that's my object. Right? Now, aletheos, I'll again go to the end of the word. Os here, I know from looking at vocabulary and having memorized vocabulary, I know that it comes from aletheia, which is a first declension noun. First declension nouns were primarily what gender? Do you remember? Feminine. Okay? And we learned in the first declension that the feminines, first declension nouns that were declined differently. It was os, on in the singular, then I, own, ice, os in the what am I thinking of? In the plural. So here we have one of those things where we see os there, and it could either be genitive singular or accusative plural. Oh no! But
That word can you really pluralize that word?
no, not really. It would have to end up being a genitive singular. Okay? I'm thinking that right.
Because there's already accusative too. Isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of taken that spot up already. Lagus is. So genitive singular, as a genitive singular, it's kind of describing a single quality to the plural object. That makes sense?
Yep.
Okay? So that kind of helps us figure that out. So lagus, accusative plural, double underline. Aletheos, genitive singular in parentheses. Dia attain agapein, sorry. Dia is a preposition. It opens up a prepositional phrase. So we start a parentheses before dia,
Right.
and then we need to figure out where to end it. Can you tell me what case the definite article is in that follows it?
Accusative.
Accusative.
That follows agape?
That follows dia.
Dia. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
See, the definite article is
Mhm.
accusative.
Mhm.
So right now, dia is taking the accusative case. We need to figure out how far the accusative case goes to close off that prepositional phrase. So how far does it go? Yeah, just to the next word. Agape, right? And then that ends the prepositional phrase. Because haimon is in what case?
Genitive.
Genitive plural, right? It's the first person personal pronoun, genitive plural. Okay? So that by itself is in parentheses. You following me? Are we tracking together?
Yes.
Okay? Huper is another preposition, opens up a prepositional phrase, and it's taking the genitive here, to apostolou, and so that kind of ends the whole sentence anyways. So then that's our last prepositional phrase. So what we're left with, after you've diagrammed the whole thing, is you have graphamen circled and lagus underlined. Everything else is in a parentheses, right?
Double underlined, right?
Yeah, double underline. And everything else is in a parenthesis. Everything else in this is a leftover. So the heart and soul of our sentence is we have written, what have we written?
Words.
Words. And that's the heart and soul of this. We have written words. Right? Now, remember, we pick up the aletheos. This is a genitive case. It kind of describes for us what kind of words we have.
Say it again, I'm sorry.
So now we pick up the aletheos.
True words?
Yeah, words of.
Words
truth.
of truth.
Right.
Genitive of.
Yep. So we have written words of truth. Dia tain agapein. Now remember, dia can either take the genitive case or it can take the accusative case. Here it's taking what case?
Accusative.
Accusative. So we need to figure out what translation to give dia with the accusative case.
Because.
Yeah, because of, right? So, dia tain agapein. So because of the love. All right, now we pick up the next thing, and it actually qualifies what or modifies what we just said. So, because of the love,
Of you.
not of you, but of,
Your. Our.
yeah, of us,
Oh.
right? Of us.
Okay. Okay.
See that?
Yeah.
Okay? So, you wouldn't want to say because of the love of us. How would you want to smooth that out a little bit?
Because of our love?
Because of our love, right? And it explains who our love is directed towards. Huber to apostolum.
Awesome.
For
For
the apostle.
Because it's an genitive, air genitive is full.
Yeah. So we have number 5 all over one more time. We have written words of truth because of our love for the apostle. All right?